Hello, my name is Malcolm Travers, and welcome to M3 Live. Male Media Mind is a grassroots organization dedicated to uplifting and unifying our community through dialogue, insight, creativity, and knowledge. And every Saturday at noon, Greg hosts a live stream that's usually around the culture, news, things that are of his interest, and he is on hiatus right now. I am actually as well. I just took a break. And, happy holidays. But I thought in its place, I would still try to provide a rewind. We have a lot of shows in the bank. I'm not going back too far, just a couple years ago. This is going to be a rewind to January 15th, 2022. It was just after the new year in a couple years ago. And at the end, I'm going to come back on and hopefully I'm going to invite all of the panelists who are available to do a Patreon show. If you don't know, Male Media Mind, we have a whole bunch of different shows. And one of the ways that people can show their support of our network is to become a patron. And in response, we try to have like some patron shows. So I'm making sure to do that even on our off days. So, yeah, patreon.com/Male Media Mind. Whoever happens to hear the bat signal, see the bat signal, will come in. We'll have a little conversation afterwards. Of course, as a patron, you can also get access to my podcast early, which is comes out every Tuesday, but patrons get it on Monday as a video. And we also have some groups on Telegram and a Discord server, which I'm trying to learn how to use. No one is on there, but as patrons, we might figure it out how to do it together. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But anyway, let me get to the show. I forget how to load these sometimes. Like I said, this one is from January 15th, 2022. Let me go ahead and load it. All right, catch them on the other side.
What? Happy Saturday, y'all. It's your man, the talented Mr. Drayton. And I have an extremely full panel today, and that just spoils my heart over. I'm so happy. Thank you for joining M3 Live Saturday. Happy New Year, y'all. And happy birthday, MLK. Thank you for doing all that you have done for us. Thank you for allowing the homosexuals to have a weekend to come to Atlanta. Y'all out there shaking and shimming and doing your thing, put a goddamn mask on it, please.
Please.
Y'all y'all wilding out there. I seen y'all in the streets. I don't know why y'all come down here every year and half of y'all gonna stay. I'm gonna move down there. No, anyway, we'll talk about the trend of the MLK weekend. Let's get into our panel. We have to my right the founder and the proprietor of this thing that we call M3. He has the best. Well, it's debatable today. Running.
Yeah,
right now,
I gotta step my game up. I see that now. My pro game is being challenged.
The talented and wonderful and handsome and always incredibly smart Malcolm Travers, y'all. What's good?
Yeah.
And down below me, we feel like we're in the Brady Bunch. It's the Brady Bunch. We have the awesomely wonderful, talented TJ who is gonna pull out some of his bees and stuff and gonna direct y'all to his Facebook page in any given moment when he gets. How you doing, sir? Welcome back.
Doing good. How are you?
Appreciate you. Now, last but not least, Brother Nipsey, the missing link, and with the brother who I think was not going to show up today because he was out there testing the homosexual for COVID. Stay safe, sir. Stay safe. Wrap it up. Jeffrey Roman, how you doing, sir?
I'm here. I'm tired, but I'm here.
Mm,
I got a little bit of a reprieve, so yes, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and jump on with you guys for a
hey,
second.
man, I get it. I get it. I get it. Y'all better stay out them streets like that. Stay out
Oh
them
God,
streets. Stay out
please,
the streets. Thick Night Gaming. How are you doing, sir? Good evening.
hey,
What's up, Devon?
Devon.
How you doing, sir? From across the pond, as they like to say. Welcome in. Good evening. Good evening. Happy Saturday. All. Atlanta Mac. Greg has already begun. Really? Wow, you didn't like wubba. Damn it. Anyway, Thick Night. Not the homosexual COVID. They don't have COVID. I'm just saying the population. They get on the airplane, they come out here and they fall in love Friday through Tuesday. Some of them come Thursday because they want the early jump. It
Right.
is. We'll talk about that later. But news that black folks may or may not can use. We have the Supreme Court has blocked Joe Biden's attempt that saying that the larger corporations can require their employees to be vaccinated and or tested weekly. I say to that, fuck y'all, because y'all don't want COVID to end. So what interests me about this, gentlemen, is that they always talk about smaller government, but government is they are putting government in all things that we do. They touching pussies and they are all in the bedrooms. They don't gay marriage. They none of that. So TJ, since you're a recurring guest, house guest, about we'll let you go first. What you think about the Supreme Court doing the fuck shit? Let's go.
I think it's bullshit. Like
Love it.
they just trying to find and continue the situation to make us weaker. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think it's stupid.
It's some fuck shit.
It is.
And I
Really?
see that Carolina Blue Cup you got auspiciously in the shot right there. I see you. I see you. I see you, brother Malcolm. We know. I know your personal opinion because we're personal
Yeah.
friends. But tell me, where are you with this?
No, I think it was someone was I was listening to Elena Kagan who wrote the dissent for it, and she was really just blunt, like this is dumb as fuck. Like this is y'all are literally trying to kill people. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I loved her dissent. It was pretty good. So
I love it.
I mean,
love it.
yeah,
Brother
was,
Jeff, we know what you think as well, but enlighten us.
Yeah, this was crazy because and this is where like we talk about the dangers of the Republican Party and like all this conversation about the filibuster and them being concerned about getting rid of it. I'm over it because this is all pride because these Republicans use that same filibuster to get rid of it to put these judges in place that are now wreaking havoc on our lives. The Supreme Court has never been this skewed, and this was definitely a conservative majority, which they've said are really posed to. It's not just get ready to happen with COVID, like we said. It's imminent with abortion rights, and at some point, even as gay men that now are able to get married, I might want to be mindful that that's a right that they still could repeal in their own right. So,
yeah,
yeah,
we haven't
And get y'all
we haven't even
on
seen.
disco balls and run on down there. Go ahead, National.
No, I was going to say it's going to be bad when we actually have a very conservative president with this court.
right.
Like that's an eventuality that's likely to happen. It's going to be nasty. So
It's going to be nasty. It's going to happen in the next couple
yeah.
of cycles.
Because also they are the ones that I know we'll talk about some of this, but they are the ones that started the assault on the voting rights because they gutted the Voting Rights Act. And now that's why these states have been able to go down these roads that they are and create these laws. The Supreme Court is very, very important. And this is a thing that conservatives have always understood. Democrats and liberals haven't. They don't, like you said, we don't get caught up in some of the, it's, oh, well, it'll work out or whatever. And this is why we have to be just as tenacious as they are because our rights are being stripped away. And the only thing, even if even if Congress passes a law, the Supreme Court can still come in and say it's unconstitutional.
And strip it. Yeah, make it strip it. And Tyreen says happy MLK Day, y'all. And think before
Tyreen
get too deep, he need another face for tomorrow because he's a man short and he will be discussing the domestic homicide that happened behind Fortnite.
Oh yeah, I know.
I can pop in for
And I
You
might
saw
be
that
able to
news story?
Patron.
Or-
Yeah, I know the story. He's talking about the
You know the
Yeah.
story. You know the story, TJ. The man killed his partner over
of 10 years
of 10 years. Yeah,
over a video game.
yeah. And I was lucky enough to follow him. On
I
social-
really saw that, but I thought it was fake news for real.
No, it's real.
Wow.
At first, I thought it was a joke, and I was laughing about it. What's funny is that he's a TikTok
Right.
creator, and I've
And the-
reposted his posts before. I mean, I've seen him online before.
And
Yeah.
the thing of it was when I first read, I was like, "That's some bullshit. I'm not ready to pollute my mind with it." So I stopped reading.
See, that's how the killer goes.
Yeah,
That's how the killer.
I didn't know it was Fortnite. That's even worse.
That's how the fuck could occur.
Why
Yeah.
not just pistol whoop them? You don't have to kill them.
Right.
I'm just saying, the tilt is real. Some people, when they get in their games, they really do get in a different mindset. They call it tilt, right? When gamers get so angry that their game is thrown, and like some people try to get someone to tilt, so they don't play as well.
Over the tilt. Is that what?
Look,
Yeah, it's
give me an
really
old
it's
man
fucking.
to do crossword puzzles. I ain't got time for this.
Amen, Amen, brother.
It's really it's
Yeah, because
some-
nobody ain't ever killed nobody playing Scrabble. That's all I'll say.
I ain't heard nobody getting killed playing
it's it.
even Connect Four. Doing
No, Connect Four gets violent. I'm sorry. When you block someone,
A second before we go on.
Connect Four didn't get
You know
violent.
what? The fact that it's the fact that he pulled that out.
Oh
No,
no!
it's one of my favorite games. I don't blame you.
I got Uno. I have Scrabble. We can play Spades, but Spades might get you killed.
Now,
Yeah.
I've seen some people almost get cut over.
Because I done seen some spade games to get you smacked up, and I'm not for that.
Yeah. I have gotten into fisticuffs over some spades because motherfuckers be cheating.
Right.
That's all I'm gonna say about that. So move on to the next thing. That's all we got to say. What is this? L. Bigton says now. Now I've seen some fights over space. Yeah, and he also said that he saw the story online. That's very sad. And he also
Yeah.
fights. Mark Estes says, "Looking good,
What's up, Mark?
fellas. Oh,
Hey, Mark.
so sweet. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you because I ain't even comb my hair, man.
I'm sure he is floating from the glow of Scream. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but
No,
I'm
we
seeing
have Jeffrey.
Yeah, we need to make some plans.
Yeah. So if we have lights by tomorrow, or it's gonna be a
Yeah.
So
Right.
get ready. We all gonna be stuck in the house for the next 2 days. And I don't even know what the power stuff is, but I think the power's gonna be out shortly. I'm really scared to do it. Atlanta Max says I did once get a nasty paper cut playing spades because I was being messy. Did you slam it on the That's how you do it. That's how you get that paper cut. I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
So, in other news, let's talk about the economy, y'all. It is
Okay.
like we are experiencing inflation at rates that have never been seen before. And so there's this thing that measures what producers charge, and it is up by 9.7%. That is the biggest jump ever in the history that has been measured. So CEOs and economists around the world pontificate and forecast that we are going to have high inflation to the mid 2023, as long as it's done before the presidential race.
Yeah, they were talking about that as an interesting part of the I don't know, the stages of a pandemic. They were saying like that is actually part of it. You expect these sort of economic upheavals because of it. So, and they said it's about a 4-year process to see its way through.
A lot of it, yeah. So unfortunately, none of us were alive 100 years ago, and the person that was Betty just died. So we have no reference to what happened
Right.
after that.
Yeah, it's much harder to see because I think the population of the world doubled since the last pandemic, which is to say it's kind of crazy. But
And so that's
It's a much different world than it was then. Yeah.
So that's also the problem when you have high populations. You are going to have viruses and disease that jump from animals to humans.
Yeah.
Swine flu, ladies and gentlemen. But the difference was when we had swine flu, we had a competent person in the White House, and we all didn't die from swine flu. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. So there's something going on in Baltimore with the Attorney General of the state of Maryland. She apologized for something, and I don't know what it is. I only saw her crying at the podium. Tune in Wednesday. I'm going to scoop Malcolm on what it is, and he's going to get right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I know about that actually. She made a racial. She got caught on tape making a racial slur.
Did she use the N-word?
I don't know which one it was, but it was verifiable that she made this comment. So evidently that's why she is now having to resign.
Wow.
Okay. It's in public. Wow. There you go. Let's see. Exactly. I'm just going through things. Hey, Mark. That's the Thick Night is speaking to Mark.
Right.
So, I'm trying to rush through the news because y'all know I hate the news is not my shit.
It traumatizes Greg.
I know, right?
It's traumatized me, so I'm trying to go through it quickly. I want you all to be educated and informed, and I want to be the one to bring it to you. But y'all giving me anxiety. Look, the boogeyman is still out there. Wear a motherfucking mask. Y'all go vote. What else I got to say? Your shit gonna cost y'all more. You should have voted for the right person 4 years ago.
They said hospitalizations are up, which they expected to happen from, so many infections are up. But
yeah. Malcolm, I have a number actually. 155,000 Americans are now in the hospital. That is high in the last year's spike.
Yeah.
So,
I
would like to say this in closing of the news. Listen, this is going to be like the flu. Okay? Every season when they get cold, we're going to have a spike. Niggas die from the flu. I said it. Okay? Wear your mask. And so I've noticed in the last 2 seasons, TJ, I have not had the flu because I wear a mask outside. So I ain't getting the germs. So we are going to learn to be a cleaner society. So let's go with that. That's also we're gonna wash our hands.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Let me say, this shouldn't have to take the coronavirus to make us clean.
Well, it did.
And that's sad.
It really should.
It's so true. And the thing is, a generation from now, they'll forget and they'll need another one all over again.
Get dirty all
it's like we're done.
This all happened because of motherfuckers.
Little nasty fuckers.
This all happened.
I love it.
It's true though. I've been breathing in other people's saliva for years. I was like, this is horrible.
If the Wuhan situation is true, this all began because somebody didn't wash their hands at an open market. Wash your hands, people. Love y'all. Please. That is from the times of Mr. Drayton to you. Wash your damn hands. Mark, the federal government charged her
she was that
recording something and lying in her mortgage application. Oh, so I can tell you.
See, it goes deeper.
Like somebody's business. Let me tune in.
It's like I think you got excited for their financial documents.
So here's the thing about it. As a mortgage person, let me tell y'all something. That happens a fucking lot. They will catch you. They gonna catch you.
But what you lying for?
Money, usually.
Lying to obtain the mortgage.
Right, so you don't have to pay as much.
Get your ass put out later.
It's a dumb choice, granted.
To get your ass put out later.
Right.
I'm just saying, usually, if you ever have to question like someone's motives, it's usually either sex or money. I'm just saying. Like, what?
Let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you what happens when you lie on your mortgage. They're not gonna take your house. They're gonna take your ass to the prison because it's a federal crime. You can
to get your ass put out, not put out, just put out.
You just going to the jail. Okay.
Yeah. So then you're gonna have 3 hots in a cot.
you have a fabulous home
No,
when
ma'am.
you get up, 'cause you only gonna do 3 to 5.
No, ma'am.
It's the look
Oh,
on his
God.
face.
It's whatever's in that cup for me, though.
No, ma'am.
That's what that is, brother. It's
Oh,
whatever's in
God.
that cup for me. Let's go. So, Thick Night Gamer says, please wash your hands. Lester, talented and wonderful Lester Bailey Jr., the proprietor and owner of Lady Maid LBJ, I'm sorry, is online, and he says, please wash your motherfucking hands.
Period.
Census, period. And he also, everybody's saying, please get vaccinated. So
Right.
And if you're vaccinated, get your boosters.
Get your
Yeah.
because they say, the vaccine ain't really working unless you get that ass boosted. So boost that
Yeah.
ass, go in there. And then you still have to wear a mask if your ass is boosted because you don't want to be the outbreak monkey. So quickly, let me tell you how that works. Because you can be asymptomatic. Asymptomatic meaning I don't have any symptoms, but that does not mean that you're not the outbreak monkey, and you can pass it on to somebody else. So please, people, ladies and germs, do your Ben. So do your
Not ladies and germs.
and wash your fucking hands and do what you got to do. So before
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip forward to Greg's inbox today.
So what's in your
Okay.
inbox?
The suspect.
Yeah, we gotta come up with a jingle for your inbox.
And it's kind of light today. It's kind of
Okay.
not as salacious as ain't nobody sleeping with their daddy and the mama and all that stuff.
Well, I hope not.
No.
Oh, you missed last week. Yes. Yeah.
The young man was sleeping with his stepfather.
You know what? He need to have his ass whooped.
I agree. That is a good point.
And his mom need to
he might. He probably will at some point.
That don't make no fucking sense.
I think his mama might whoop his ass just like she might just punch his ass. Like.
Crazy part that is like he's the oldest, so his siblings, that's their father.
Yeah.
So you fucking your brother's father. That's too much for TV. You is fucking. Where is the morals? Where is the line? The line has been closed. You know what? We are really living in our last days.
I just heard all of my grandmama come out.
So Mark
living in our last days.
We is at a time for all ourselves. This can't be real.
So Mark Estes gives us a follow up on the Baltimore situation. He says it's a political play, and the entire video of Mosby press play, and it's on IG.
Okay.
You don't see that. They are definitely, Baltimore has some real. Baltimore is like Julius. It's like Julius Caesar in the Roman times. They have some very, very dangerous politics, yo. Baltimore is they be framing niggas and putting crack in people's offices and stuff. Baltimore is a beast. I tell you that is
the Wild Wild West up there.
It is the one thing about living in the DMV. Baltimore politics are just.
I'm so glad I'm a Southern Belle.
Yeah. Glad.
Oh God.
Glad. So today in Greg's Suspects, I get some theme music.
I was gonna say we're gonna have to get you a you guys.
I don't know. I don't have any good music.
I love it. So this rotation last week, I did not tell y'all the mail that I got last week. I did not do it. I am only the reporter of the news.
Right.
Please do not shoot the messenger.
Mm-hmm.
This week is a little more tame. Married couple have been married about 4 years. But the mother-in-law has to come live with it. And one of the homies ain't happy. Now, Malcolm, what I didn't share with you behind the scenes because I wanted an element of surprise. The mother
punchline,
is a former drug user, and they're not sure if she's currently on drugs. So
you ain't say all that.
I did not, TJ.
Mom got to go.
Yeah.
Mom got to go to a home because she can't stay here.
Now, mind you, now if they in their 30s, early 40s, Mom is only middle 60s.
Maybe.
And I'm gonna knuckle up on Mom
Yeah.
if she put her fucking hands on my shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
But no, I don't know. Maybe our home wouldn't be ready for Mom. Maybe Mom need another home, a facility, a rehab.
Maybe Mom needs a rehab.
Right.
Because she ain't
Yeah.
got but two more options: rehab or the funeral home.
yeah.
But she need to get in line.
For disaster waiting to happen. Everybody says it's that noise for me. It's the cup in the ice.
Oh yeah. I never knew the tumblers were so useful.
Yeah.
I just thought that was some bullshit. I was like, I don't need to spend my money on it. But this has saved my life. You hear me? And don't nobody know what's in my cup. I'm minding my business, and that's it, and that's all.
I have a feeling there was alcohol involved in that. I'm just gonna tequila.
But as he said, that's what it is.
It's just in the cup. Don't worry about it. It's in the cup.
But I was gonna say about his topic though was even under normal circumstances, a couple, even if the mother was well behaved, you need space as a new couple. Like they're still pretty young. You need your own space. You do not need another adult who is gonna be in your business regardless, in your space, in your business, interfering with your relationship. And on top of that, she's got a drug problem that may or may not be active. Like, that seems like a self-destruct button on your relationship. I'm just saying, like, dude is hitting the button.
It can be to a certain extent, though.
I mean, and
only that. So I'm actually in my inbox right now.
Yeah. And I was just going to say also, because my other question then, like, just at it is like you just said, she's not, like, if she was elderly or sick, I could see this being necessary. Like, why is it necessary that she has to come into their house and can't go, and like, why can't she live on her own, or why can't she go to
No, she's irresponsible.
So she can't stay with us.
So this is essentially a problem of her making this. So
right.
What happens?
Rehab facility.
Right.
Yeah, that's one where you say, I support you, I love you, but you cannot stay here. Like, I mean, you can lovingly say no. I mean, you do not have to say yes.
Mac, she just lives there. And I asked the question, was it a temporary thing? And they were like, that bitch ain't going nowhere.
Well, do they have like a mother-in-law suite?
She has a bedroom. I don't think it's a suite.
Do they have like a basement they can put her in or something like? Stay there and stay like.
But here's it's the disrespect for me. So she calls the other partner. She's like, I don't know why you gotta be a fag and why you gotta marry that.
She got to go to a home.
Exactly.
Because
she coming out of pocket and it's time to make change. Home.
as a mental health professional on this panel, because we going to get the pistol and get your ass out of here.
Right.
That part.
As a mental health professional, how would you handle this?
Well, that's why I asked those questions that I asked.
I said she cannot come, and I know how he said that.
Right, but like you said, I mean, because my thing is, one, why is it necessary if it's just her own real responsibility? Like, it's one of those things of, we all have to be accountable for our own actions here. And I'm not saying throw your mother out on the street, but on the same note, if your mother is only in need of a place because she's not responsible, then she has to take some accountability here. And it sounds like, this person, whoever's mother this is, he's trying to rescue her, and it sounds like he's enabling her, which is never a good thing, especially for somebody with substance abuse issues. But also, if you're going to disrespect my relationship, that's not important, because I know, as even before I got married, at one point I was living in a home. I had kids in my house. I was, we were living that quote unquote life. And I had to tell my mother, just because I'm a gay man and you don't get that doesn't mean you get to disrespect that. You know, like, this is my home. This is my own family now. You don't get to come in here and basically throw your beliefs in. When my mother even had to live with me, it was literally a reversal of the roles. But also, like, if she's already disrespecting him, and like, are you going to be able to come in and are you going to respect my rules? Like, it's just a whole lot of stuff to unpack here.
Right.
I think that this person might be trying to. We instinctually want to rescue everybody that we care about, and sometimes you can't.
We can't.
Malcolm, before you jump in, there's a thread running through the comments from the audience, and I'm just gonna say one thing: Shady Pines. They all say Shady Pines.
The nursing home. I'm telling
you. So I mean, thank you.
No, in the words of Dorothy, Shady Pines was a retirement community. It was not a home.
I'll be putting brochures on the table and shit. I'll be driving this home by the joint, but like, look at that, ain't that? And then one day we be like, we're going for a ride. All her shit gonna be in the trunk.
Right.
We just gonna go on there, and what can't fit in the trunk, we're gonna bring to you later. She can kick and buck all you want to, and if she ain't got no money, there are very lovely state facilities. I know you're in the state of Georgia. The state of Georgia, you know, they take care of old people. So we gonna. So the overwhelming opinion is Shady Pines. So
yeah,
we're gonna move forward because I got to be on by 7 o'clock. So we're moving on. So Malcolm hit me up yesterday, and I knew it when he hits me up during the week with some fuck shit. I knew it's some shit.
No, he don't do it.
Like, yeah, I was like, bruh, you know. So I'm gonna try. Now we can't show it to you, but I'm sure you can hear it from my phone. We're gonna go with that. So give me one second. Let me see.
Okay, what's up? I know you told me your deal, and I went with it because you're fine, and part of me thought I could change you. Nah, you ain't changing me, but I know that now. Good. It is good. I'm glad you know it's good. All right, let me just double check something. Go ahead. You have to label the name from yesterday. Yeah, your partner in crime or your ace or your bestie. And I can't come to any of the family functions. Nope. We can't display any form of affection in public. Hell no. And if we get married, don't even. Oh yeah, I can't do this to myself. We have to end it. I'm sure there's someone who would want you. Well, I don't want a relationship anyway. I just want to. Yo, that's what's up.
Yo. Okay. Now, of course, being the antagonist that I
am. No, Greg, never.
Never, Jeffrey. Never. Let me take off the Bradbury.
Oh shit.
Right.
I'm gonna look into the camera.
When the nigga take his glasses off, he ready to say some bullshit.
So y'all ready for this? So, motherfucker, you knew this shit when you got with the nigga. You knew all this motherfucker bullshit. You ain't never met this nigga cousin. You ain't never been to this nigga grandma's house. You know, I'm saying y'all got a 2-bedroom and can't afford it. I mean, you know, you knew all this shit, but now when he did hit that spot and made your punani gush, and I need to have this nigga in my life forever. No, he's not that forever kind of nigga. Stop trying to make a temporary nigga a forever nigga. He's not a
right.
Nigga. And you do this shit.
No.
Funny, Malcolm, it's so funny that because you got to see the visual. Because he's like, oh, nope, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? Because it's the truth. So I got to hear from you all, starting with Malcolm because he sent it to me. Like, I know I've probably been more of the.
I'm gonna put it in the chat. Let me see the link to it.
But I'm sure we've all been in. But y'all, okay, I got to say this again. No emails. Please don't. Please don't send me nasty ass messages. If you got my phone number, don't send me nasty text messages and all that stuff. But listen, you get that there is a point, like we all have different points of evolution in our lives and our existence. And at one point that was part of my existence. But I would tell them, you can't meet my mama, you can't see my kids, none of this. And I didn't lie. This was what it was. I was like, so you know, I'm thinking, and now you get mad because you want more. That's your motherfucking fault.
You gotta call this, right?
Well, let me
called it.
The comments. So Sammy says, "Hi guys, how are you?
Hey,
Sammy.
Sammy.
Hey,
It's really good to see you, Sammy. Some of these men assume the female mindset. They can change somebody with their sex. I get it. Oh wait. Pipe says they should just be fuck buddies. That's the problem. Like the dude got digmatized, and now he wants to take the dude down the aisle. So that's evil.
but can I say this?
I mean,
It's not always based on sex.
Okay, talk to
It's
me.
not.
Go ahead.
And I say this because from personal experience. Like I had one experience with a guy, and he was a DL. And in the back of my mind, I knew this shit wasn't gonna work.
Okay.
But I had hope for the situation. It wasn't about sex. It was more so of the goals and the conversation that we had. You know what I'm saying? Like we had similar interests. Like we wanted to make things work. But when it boiled down to the actual dynamics of our relationship, I never fitted into his world.
Okay.
And that's when I had the epiphany part of like, I'm not for the streets. This is not for me. Like, bye. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like he was cool, but as far as I knew who his family was, but they never knew what position I was to him.
Well, obviously, what position you have.
Well, we all
It's obvious what.
It's a shame for me.
Sip, 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 sip.
Drink.
A week. It was like partition.
But it's not always based upon sex though. But it just you have a realization.
I mean, it's still the idea of your connection with him override for critical thinking, basically.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's not always that.
Whether there's physical or emotional, spiritual, whatever.
But when you come to the
fact is, you know better. Yeah. Another
when
video.
you come to the point that you know it's not gonna work, ain't no sense in keep on going back and forth and trying to make this man be who you want this man to be.
The
thing is, they're gonna do it. They're gonna have to learn it the hard way. So they're gonna do it over and over again until it's just they get tired of it.
That's why I said, give me an old man that does crossword puzzles.
Okay. Isn't this B-Boy Blues though? Is it Jude?
This is so many different things here. I mean, one, we always have to, like I've said before in here, one of my mentors told me years ago, you can make a whole lot of agreements when you before sex and say this ain't gonna be but this, that, or the other. But guaranteed 9 times out of 10, either one of you or both of you are gonna feel something different when you get up. Whether it was good, whether it was bad, whatever. But also we have to remember that some of us need to be okay with, if this is the lifestyle, like we talk about it, everybody's not for the hookup thing. I know I'm not. So I'm not going to end up in a scenario where I hook up with somebody and knowing that that's a very temporary thing and then fall for them. So that's me, but not everybody's there. And that's his thing. If you're going to operate within this way, no judgment, you have to understand that you need to leave that moment sometimes in that moment.
Hey,
we
man,
like lightning in a bottle, and we can't do that. Enjoy the moment, but let
it be that, yeah.
Right. So, but also, like you just said, we have to remember that
when you get digmatized and the dick hit the back of your cerebellum, and you just go,
oh Lord.
But then also, like you said, that's the thing that, and and I feel like I need Lester Bailey here. I need my T-shirt because that's some fuck shit at the end of the day, literally. Because at the end of the day, if somebody can blow your mind for an orgasm lasts about 45 seconds if you lucky. If 45 seconds is worth you throwing away everything that you got because you are letting somebody in your space that you don't know anything about them other than about their dick or their ass or whatever. You don't like. Why would you invest? We work hard. Some people have like I tell my friend. I have a friend that I tell them often, I don't understand with everything that you have to lose why you go jumping in the dumpsters. And yet again, he goes and he falls for the wrong person. And then a couple of months later, they ain't no good. They ain't whatever. Now he's heartbroken, but he's going back and forth. But the sex was good. And like you said, it ain't always about the sex. They made me feel right. He told me those nice things that I like to hear. But you have to remember, some people are trained to pick up on what your insecurities and your lack is, and they're going to do and touch every button that they know they need to touch, sometimes in order to get you and put you in a compromising position.
I have a question for you, Jeff. Were you Janet? I know he used to do nice things for you, but what has he done for you lately?
And I absolutely was there, and I was also like, and I think, I forget what he said, but we had a very real exchange about that. And like, yet again, I tell everybody, I practice tough love with everybody, including my friends. I love you and I'm going to support you. When this blows up in your face, I'm going to be there and I'm not going to judge you for that. But I'm telling you, it's going to blow up. So when it happens, we'll deal with the other side of that. But if you want to go down this road, we already both know where to end up at. So if we need to make sure, like, and that's the thing too, we need to be honest with self. This is what we talked about often, so often in our relation and our communities, this idea of open relationships and hookups or whatever tend to be the norm for everybody. But if you are in a space where you are really wanting more, then deal with that, because that's the other thing. Be honest with who you are and where you at. Because it ain't just, and like he said, it ain't just about the sex. Because at the end of the day, sex is always very temporary. Even when you have great sex with somebody that you're in a relationship with, we go through peaks and valleys, ups and downs. There are times that it was, oh my God, that was great, and there are times it was all right. But if you're in a committed relationship, you understand these things. When it's just somebody that you have no connection with, the only thing you know is that simple, immediate kind of gratification thing. But immediate gratification is never good. I mean, I think we live in a microwave society, but we need to remember, even microwaves give us radiation. Like we have to use our common sense, but also, like I tell you, we have to be honest with self. Because I tried, like I said, I was, I tried to drink the Kool-Aid for a minute. Well, maybe I need to change how I think. I thought about hooking up with one person, and I was like, what the hell are you doing? You know this is not you. You know you're not going to get what you
on the way to the house.
Huh?
You was on the way to the house?
No, he wasn't on my way. No, we didn't get that far, but just in the sense of even going down the rabbit hole of even exploring it. And like I was like, you know what? I have to be honest with myself and within my friends. And that sense, I became the minority. All my other friends were, we out here getting our life and we having big fun. And I sat there, and yet again, no judgments. If y'all happy, y'all happy. But all of them had then turned around, this crap blew up in their face. Some of them, lost some very serious pieces of things in the sense of who they are. Some of them were very traumatized. Some of them lost like property and things that they had really just worked hard for. And my thing was, why is it as men, I don't even say gay men, but we know men are very physical and carnal and all that thinking. But even in that, men, we all have a level of intelligence here that understands these things, but we are still willing to go down these really, really slippery, bad slopes.
Sunshine did the best. Man, he won't never coming back. Sunshine,
say that, Mr. Jeff.
You better say it. I have to add on some complexity to what follow up from my inbox.
Oh God!
Does anybody recall? I had the person in my inbox who was involved with a prisoner.
Right.
Some guy out of jail.
Yeah. Right.
Course update, bing, ding, 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 ring the bell.
Okay.
But guess what? The person did. They went back to what they knew. They got back on jailbait.com or jailhouse.com and found them a new jail boot. And so I write prison love. So I them. I said, you just want something that's not available because it makes you feel better. So you can get on with your life and do what you gotta do, but you still have this attachment. And so they were like, no.
Basically.
I was like, yes. Now, if you're not going to be receptive to my advice, please do not ask. And that's all I want to say right now. But
and just to add to that, Greg, is also one of the things that we as gay men need to stop doing is we need to stop trying to date straight men or men that think they're straight. because that is never going to work out. Because like TJ described, there's a lifestyle difference. There's just other things that as a gay man and a straight man don't have in common. And because of that, a relationship is just not going to be successful.
Work. Yo, and I mean, do what you got to do.
But so, it's crazy. Not cut you out, but it's crazy because that situation that I was in, the dude ended up getting locked up, and I knew him prior. Like we went to high school, middle school, elementary school, but like we went to all the schools together. And that's where the familiar stuff came from.
Fucking life, homie.
Yeah, and then I just had a moment where I just woke the fuck up like you got to go.
Well, yeah, that's good. and look, find love, you get it, but if you ain't free, you ain't for me.
Crossword.
Well, and also make sure that, like you just said, Greg, prime example. If you truly want love, then next year is with somebody that's available for that.
Yeah, you gotta make sure.
You got to make sure the person wants you for you and not for what you bring to the table, what assets you have, and they actually are proud to be with you, not because what you give them or what you can do for them.
Exactly.
And this is my philosophy. I never want somebody that needs me. I want someone that wants me.
Amen. Oh, good afternoon, Petersburg, Virginia house. Good afternoon, Augusta Southern. Appreciate you tuning in from my home state of VA. Love you much. How you doing?
I need a refill.
I'm here for it.
I need the recipe. What is
you need to send in the chat what's in that cup because I need that.
I don't know why he don't enjoy it.
Look, I got a couple of tumblers around here. So
this shit right here is like my best friend. It's a North Carolina winery. It's Dublin, and it's cotton candy.
Ooh.
When I tell you this is my shit.
Cotton candy, sweet.
Right. You, bro.
Yeah. Don't you be over there. You know that.
Okay, I might bust a move every now and then, but I'm back
again. Sammy says, I see my fellow, some black gay men, or some strange things for the sake of affection. Me being the nosy bitch I am, says Sammy, I would ask what the root of your evil. Who's the maker of that, TJ?
Dublin. It's a North Carolina winery. Okay. Dublin.
Yeah,
Dublin. Y'all get it.
Yeah. Google it.
Have the realtor with the best hair in the business, Brandon Curiton. He says people have to be available for themselves. #heal. Get you a therapist. Get you. Amen.
Right.
Just get you a puppy and some wine.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
You agree with the puppy and the wine scenario?
The puppy and the wine, they show you.
Malcolm, you agree with the puppy and wine scenario?
I 100% agree.
Yeah, they show you. They show you so much love. They don't talk. All you got to do is feed them and walk them.
Well, that sound like me. Shit.
It's a very transactional relationship. It works.
You do work. You do crossword puzzles.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
Hey, babe.
And I was gonna say this too. A dog instantly makes you more cute. I'm just saying. Like when you walk in, this person has a dog. Dogs are great accessories. I'm just gonna be real.
I want a poodle.
I've lived all over the planet.
And I was going to say, Greg, you said that sounds like you. I was going to say you have been called a dog. So
come here, back.
Don't come here, back.
You know, I have lived a life of boomerang. You know, he is a dog, a D-O-G dog.
Oh, you like that, Greg?
It was the way his look, TJ's whole look changed.
So you really like?
That's what you.
Never mind. You ain't ready to wear the fuck out of me. Never mind. Never mind.
Oh my God.
Puppy and wine. That's it.
It's that wine and the dog. Amen. I have to admit, Chloe is the attention getter. His dog, Chloe, she is so amazingly cute.
I get a dog.
Well, she is cute. Like,
I want a puppy.
she is very
Yeah, I think I might get one.
and Type says he agrees with the winding dog scenario.
Hey,
But
okay,
no,
Type.
yeah, that's true, and he's across the pond agreeing with us. So yeah, so back to the follow up in my inbox. So I said, brother, you went back and got another prisoner. So the guy got out of prison and robbed him, essentially.
I know you fucking lying.
No, I'm not. That's why when Malcolm sent me the thing and I was reading
Come by here, Lord.
Come on here, Lord. So
he done put all this money on Global Tel and all this shit, and now he the boy get out of prison and damn him. That boy is really bless his heart.
Wait, I got notes. So the dude, he was free for about 3 months. So he was the dude who got him, whose house he came to. They were living together successfully, allegedly, for about 3 months.
So and wait a minute, his PO had his address. Oh, bitch, you got released there. You robbed your own home.
You robbed your own home.
You know what? Let me get my shit and go.
Oh god.
The chat. Yeah, I want to be somebody because TJ is in a really good space right now.
Yeah, because
his brother said he went to work one day, he came back, and some belongings.
There was a stranger in his house.
The PO and the guy skipped out. The PO said the young man changed his address.
So he told his PO he had a new address.
Mm-hmm.
Them some crafty fuckers.
Yeah, he changed his address. And the PO said that he wanted
he probably went up with,
y'all terrible tonight.
Right. The dude said no, he just lost the shit, so it's cool. So, how is the new prisoner? He said he's sweet, he nothing like the other dude. I was like, okay, well, the key phrase, the key word in that is the other prisoner. So I said, you would be a little more guarded this time, please. And
he should have been on Love during lockup.
Maybe.
Really?
Because that's the new show that I be in tune to fuck in on Friday.
So Sammy says his rule is no overnight guests, even if they come from prison to visit you. The two men will be on different stage in life. Based on that, it's not worth it. L. Bickton says, if not for the grace of God, there go I. Frank Ortega, hello, friend and neighbor. You, sir, it's really good to see you. It's a while to figure out. Okay. Well, glad you could make it, sir. Welcome to the live broadcast of M3 Live, Saturday edition, for sure. So, my inbox pops severely.
No, it don't pop severely, do it?
Severely. My inbox severely. It's just really the only words I can use to describe it.
Riggs, I think, does part time at the club on the pole.
It's ratchet. So in that saying, I want you guys feel free to call up and Frank said there's a stranger in my house. Absolutely.
Right.
So listen, so you guys feel free to keep it coming. It's anonymous. I'm not going to give. I leave out details, so I won't. Give away your and we will. I do sometimes. I do direct them to Jeffrey and professional help. I do. I'm like, listen. So the third thing I want to get my inbox was like really full. I think the first thing you want to. So there's a young man that was in my inbox who lives in another state who hit me up. He was like, Greg, I seen you on my computer and I am homeless in another state. I was like, I don't know about this. You know what I mean? And we are like internet Facebook friends. I was like, you know, he was like, yeah, you know, do you have the space for me to come? What?
Not what?
I immediately text Brother Jeff. I ain't never text that fast. I was 2-finger text. This motherfucker. Yeah. I was 2-finger text.
Oh no.
With the text. So listen, being careful who you invite into your home, into your space. Be safe, because people don't always mean you good. There are bad people in the world.
Right.
Be right, Dr. Frank. No, sir. Listen, you have to be careful. You have to understand the world that we live in. But we're going to end today's show on a very, very positive note. Two things. I want to tell y'all that Lettucey is on tour, and she is performing that album that I love. Lettucey does Nina Simone. It's 7 songs that have changed my life in that particular thing. So I'm going to steal next week coming up. I'm going to steal from my brother Jason Pure, and I'm going at the end of each show. I'm going to do 7 songs that changed my life for the next 7 weeks. And I want you guys to inbox me with your ideas and comments about 7 songs that changed your life and why. And I'm going to give examples, and I'm going to give reasonings, and we're going to talk about melodies and the albums that they belong to, and yeah, and all those things. Look at Geeky down there. Look.
I already have a list, so.
Oh my God! I was thinking about.
Yeah.
When I was thinking about this, I immediately thought about Jeff. I was like, oh, he's gonna. I ain't even telling him about it. He's gonna love this. I'm gonna surprise him. So, Malcolm, guys on the panel and the audience, please think about 7 songs over the next 7 weeks that have changed your life. And Vincent, how are you, sir? Good to see you. And why they changed your life? Because music, especially in this time of pandemic, has been the thing that's kept all of us sane. It's been some great music that has come out. So the artist that I have discovered this week is Olivia Rodrigo. You heard of her?
Yeah.
Young girl, she's about 17, and she is angsty and angry and mad, and her vagina probably got teeth. And I am just.
She's like a little baby Adele. I give her that. She does that.
She's more like Alanis, more sad.
That's true. Yeah.
She's angry. She is cursing. I am just like.
The first thing I thought about her album was like, like 10 years from now, you won't even be thinking about this dude, and you wrote a whole song about him. I'm just saying, like, she has these really, really sad love songs. I'm like, you're not going to even remember his name 10 years from now.
Oh, yes, she made several millions from this dude. Yeah.
Taylor Swift did it, and so did Adele, kind of. So,
yeah. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was just listening to 30, and compared to her other albums, it's a real evolution. I mean, it's an artist evolution. And then I started listening. Then I went just down the rabbit hole, started listening to like Mama's Gun. And FYI, we're gonna say this again. Greg got a turntable for Christmas and some wine. So, those kids. No, yeah, that's no. I'm really in the sound and the experience is different. Some people like, vinyl's expensive. Why do it? But it's super expensive. But the experience, like Jeff and I met on my sofa the other day, and like we had the experience of listening to vinyl, and it's just like the conversation with different TJ. It was like the whole thing was different. So if you ever get a chance, get yourself some vinyl. It is wonderfully fantastic. So in this last few minutes, I gave y'all homework for next week. Start off with the one song that will change your life. It could be number 10 on your list, or number 7. That means you too, Malcolm. You too, TJ. If you're not on the panel, you need to tune in and give us that song for this upcoming week, which is I don't know what's next week, the 21st. So January 21st, the first song that changed your life. Why? Where were you when you heard it? What did it do to you? And how do you think about that moment in time now? I think this may take up a whole show, so I'm going to be light on the inbox. So going around the table, TJ, you okay over there, brother? Okay. I think we may have so TJ, you okay?
Yeah, now I'm good. I can hear y'all now.
You can hear, okay. All right, so now so tell us what you got going on. Tell us about your beads and your page.
Well, as of right now for this year, I'm coming in branding the business Beads by T.
Okay.
You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. I make handmade jewelry, gold 14 karat gold field jewelry. Also wood beads, all of that. I make custom pieces as well.
And where can we find you, brother?
On Instagram and Facebook, Beads by T.
Okay, Beads by, and they dope. I need to get this. I like this red pair. Yeah, he got this red pair. And I'm not really into jewelry and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
Right. Beads by T, y'all get you some.
Get into it. Tap in. That's the trend.
Okay, now, brother Jeffrey, I know you're a business man and show business. I'm gonna come behind you. Like James Brown just put a cape on his shoulder bottom. Talk to me. What you got coming up this week?
Well, we hope that things are gonna slow down, but like we just said earlier, not to get back on the news thing, but this COVID variant is very real. It is mutating, so everybody, please stay safe out there. And you understand, you need to wear your mask, you need to be vaccinated and or boosted or both. Like it's been pretty crazy, but no, we are getting ready to actually start an initiative that will allow us to focus specifically on the LGBTQ plus community and COVID, because research has now shown that we are being adversely impacted by COVID, as we have been for so many other issues like HIV and other actually health issues, even outside of HIV in our community. Mm-hmm. HIV has kind of become the only thing we talk about, but it's been pretty
about other shit. And so it's because I do housing and stuff. So we as a community have been adversely affected housing wise during the pandemic. I cannot find housing for lots of people, and I have to go to it's really in here, especially in Metro Atlanta, housing is at a premium. Like 1 bedrooms are hard to find, 2 bedrooms are hard to find. We have people with vouchers, and we have people with assistants who are on the list who have to live with relatives. So praise God, hopefully they have relatives. So yes, if adversely impacted by the pandemic, please let us know. You can hit up N3. Malcolm will always pass on a message, or he'll have a resource himself. Jeffrey, any of us on this panel will be more than happy to help. So thank you for all the work that you do, Jeffrey. We appreciate you. And next week, I get to see you more, hopefully.
Right.
Excited about that. Malcolm, what you got coming up next week, partner?
Well, I do have another episode of the Bearcast. Finally got one done, and I kind of went a little in a different direction. I think every previous episode was an interview. I just did a monologue for an hour. I can't believe I did that. Right, okay, but I've been reading this book, and I couldn't help but talk about it. It's the vagina monologue. Yeah, on that, and on another, the Patreon page is actually up and working. I actually found a way to stream our broadcast to Patreon so that they don't have to wait to see the extra content. Like if they're a patron, they can actually view it on the page.
And I would like to give a shout out to Sammy. Thank you for being one of our Patreon members. We appreciate you so much.
Yes.
Y'all
I'm gonna work that out for next. I'm gonna work that out for next Wednesday so that when we go off air, you can still view on Patreon.com. So
exactly, and we appreciate you all so much. Me, You will see me here next Saturday to entertain for your entertainment pleasure. I will sing, dance, and tap dance for your pleasure. Again, my homework is to one song, and this is everybody in the audience. That's a lot of y'all today, so you can hear me. Listen, listen. One song that has changed your life. Why? Where were you? How did it affect you? And how do you think about that time now? How do you think about that song? Malcolm, I know you're not a music person, so dig deep.
No, I listen to music more than anything. It's not.
I know, like,
Yeah, he's becoming more. He's become a lot more musical.
are we converting
Yeah.
him? I love it. I love it. It's
Because
that-
Malcolm will post videos on TikTok with some actually really good stuff actually on it.
yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll even go and Shazam what he's playing.
Oh my God, Sammy called Olivia White or Rodrigo Angry White Music. She's actually hysterical.
The name of her album is Sour. I mean, kind of.
Right.
And her first single, Brutal. Oh my God. And she was sick at 17. Where the fuck was her teenage dream? That's what I'm talking about.
I actually do love Driver's License. It's a good song, but
I do.
I haven't listened to the whole album.
And shout out to Brandon Curitan, who we were in the car on the way to Sam's Club, and we were listening to Tidal. Shout out to Tidal. That's some really good music on there. And I was like, who is that? He's like, that's Olivia Rodrigo. I was like, what? Right. So it's fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now the bewitching hour of 7:04. I've given you all out. Exhausted. Where's my fainting couch? So, yo, I'm going to fall back on the fainting couch. And with that said, thank you for joining us each and every Saturday. We know that you have choices in your internet entertainment. We'd like to thank you for choosing M3 as always. TJ, bring your ass back to that seat. Don't let me chase you. I will chase you. So we will look forward to seeing you again, brother. Brother Jeff, I'd like to thank you for speeding off into the night to come rescue me, Brother Noomsi. Brother Malcolm, I'd like to thank you always as providing the platform for all of this. We can get out the information and the good news about the Black community. Someplace we can gather and hang our hats. Well, wait a minute. Sammy says, Greg, you giving homework. Yes. Do it.
Yes.
Good night, David says, Greg, inbox needs to be a news column or it needs a story time. I give y'all stories.
Right.
You know, I don't, really, people just get, we were talking about Jeffrey, like we invite people into our homes, into our lives, and they feel safe, and they're glad there's some place that they can feel safe to talk about their fuck shit, Lester.
Right.
We're really glad we could be here. Malcolm, thank you so much. I ran from 3 for a long time. Like, I want to get up there and tell all my business. You know what I mean?
We are a little overexposed, but it's all good.
Well, no, it's
but overexposure is not always bad. I mean, it humanizes us. So.
Does it really?
It does. Because like I tell people, even with my clients, because of what I do, and I had to tell a young man yesterday who literally is homeless and just got over COVID. I mean, this is craziness. But I told him I can speak from some professional or book experience, but most of what I share from is my life. Like I've been through it. Yeah. And I told him, I had been on the other side of one of those desks where I've had to go to an agency and ask for help, so I understand how I'm
my life.
Right. I love my marriage, so.
Right. Yeah. I love you guys like Peter love the Lord. Please join us next Saturday. Same bat channel, same bat station, 6 p.m. Tune your dial. Hey, get that button on the YouTubes. I'm an old man. On YouTubes. So you'll get ding, ding, ding.
I just took us up.
When we come on, y'all can do it. Vincent Guzman says my music playlist is toxic, but ironically, it helped my life. I was nice in this cold world. Now come and get the job. Share with us next week, and we want to know. It's a really good topic. I like it. Yeah. So some
Yeah.
of y'all even
That's
bring up some old stuff. So we're gonna talk about it for the next 7 weeks. Let's go. All right, y'all. Thanks, love, peace, and peace.
We're still recording.
Okay.
We're off air now.
All right. TJ, you okay, my brother?
Yeah, no, he went dark on us again. I think he sounds like
He's
he
having some
It's
audio.
his
He's
phone.
right. I know I didn't see the private chat message until he came back.
yeah, he's having some
Okay.
audio. So I gotta pee and I gotta go. So,
All right. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see.
everybody calling me the Bulldogs. Do they know it's a pandemic outside? I'm not going out there. My Lord, my Jesus. So big where you at? In the house. In your house. Yeah. TJ, I'll call you in a little bit. I gotta go jump in the shower and I have to pee. I'm not peeing. Peace out,
All right. Yeah, it was funny. I posted another video similar to the one he was talking about on Instagram. It was about this guy who had a date with a straight guy, I guess, and was complaining about it. It's like, why did you go out with him?
And I gotta tell people, I mean, and I want to definitely make sure I'm transparent in this process. For a long time, it seemed like I was attracting men that were very straight identified. And that was for a long time a little bit of a struggle for me. But I did I went into that knowing that like even also being transparent about like what I needed and what I wanted, and and in those scenarios, I didn't usually pursue it because in being honest and transparent, they were able to say, yeah, even though I don't, like we tell people, some aspects of being gay is more lifestyle. And even those of us that quote unquote, identify as somebody that's attracted to a man might not be a part of the lifestyle aspect of it. So he liked the fact that although, I'm very active in the community, like I really don't go to the club a lot and I really don't get into some of the things, I'm not at every pride event and things like that. And just because that's me, if somebody is, but those are the things that we just have to take into account. My biggest barrier, I think, has been though that, when people really do understand that there is what the expectation is here. And that's the only thing I tell people: be transparent about your expectations.
This is the thing I don't get. When I was thinking about Greg's story of the guy who was in prison and he comes out, is there no at any point in his life a little bit of fear that something might happen to you? Like there was never once like a little tinge of like, he was getting out of prison.
Well, and that's my thing. Like I tell people, I believe in rehabilitation. I mean, I work with a lot of people that are coming fresh out of the prison system, so I get it. But we also have to understand for some of them, like because our prisons are literally not rehabilitation anymore. They don't even allow prisoners to get degrees anymore. Like there's just a lot of now. They literally are just locking people up, and that changes a person. There and I mean, and there are some people that are absolutely successful with coming out of prison and getting their life. And I don't think that should be then an automatic disqualification. But if you're dealing with somebody that actively just got out of prison and they don't really have a plan, and you really get a gauge for them, like lots of us are getting caught up in just a lot of fantasy here. Like we have to deal in the reality here that we're dealing with somebody that's coming with a lot of baggage. And sometimes it's not even that they might even go back out and do whatever, but can you offer this person the kind of support that they need? Because they're going to have issues getting jobs. They're going to have just other issues of trying to be getting reconnected to society and really getting their lives back in order. And are you really just looking at them and saying, oh, they hot? And I know they've been in prison, it's going to be some hot sex, Once the sex is done, then what?
Right.
And like I tell people, and I always tell people, I hate being the adult in the room, but sometimes somebody's got to be, we have to ask her questions that, because especially, it was one thing, like we talked when we were younger, you could be a little bit more cavalier and you could do things different, but also the world has just now changed in so many ways, But we talked about the internet and technology has moved us in places and ways that we never thought we would be. Our 6 a separation, and even in our community, it's very
Yeah.
real. Like I remember when I first started doing M3, and people
Mm.
would be like, "Oh yeah, well, yeah, I saw y'all had so and so on. I knew them, and I knew that." Or you'd be like, "Well, damn, but you live here, and they live there." Like, but the
Yeah.
internet has made us closer, but in some ways, it's also pushed us further apart. And
Yeah.
also, when you meet somebody that's in like when prisoners, especially people, the ones that understand, like they're trying to get out, they
Mhm.
model ideal behavior while they're in these environments because they understand they have to. So I have to be a
Right.
good prisoner. I have to be a good steward. So because I'm trying to get my time cut or good behavior or whatever, so I can get up out of here. But once they are out of that controlled environment, it's a different person.
Yeah.
Being locked up and confined, had somebody telling them when they can eat, shit, or everything else. Now they're out and they have this freedom, and that's going to change some things.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the thing is about this, his inbox is that he is going back and doing it again. Like he already experienced possibly one of the worst experiences from it. Like you didn't learn any lessons from this.
And that's the other piece.
Yeah. It's
Like,
so confusing here.
and then that, like I said, like Greg brought up the thing about being emotionally available. What is it that the only place you can meet people is prisonbait.com? Like, what is it that's drawing you to this population? Because the other part of it is, in some places, like, that person is expendable. And that's not fair to them. Like, are you really dealing with these people because you understand, like, they're not on your level, or there's a power dynamic going on here? So there's just a lot of really bad things in that particular scenario, because it's one thing, like, okay, yeah, you meet one person and it just happens to be a fluke, but it's the intention here. Like, what is it that you're lacking, or what is it that you're looking for, and why is it that you feel like you can only find it in someone who is being controlled in a confined environment, understanding that when they get out of that environment, they're not going to be that same person potentially that you met.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think I knew someone who, for whatever reason, was in these like pen pal relationships that she knew were fraudulent, like the sort of scams. And she'd send the guy money, but just like enough money to get him to send her more letters.
Right.
It's just like, what are you doing?
I mean, there are people like he talked about love after lockup. Like, now this is the new version. I think we probably gonna end up like the Real Housewives, the love after lockout Atlanta, love after lockup, New York. Like, I think we're getting ready to start, they're ready because, and that's the other thing, like you said, there is a very real, because you have to remember this person has no resources. In the most cases, they're not getting and they don't have careers. So you do have a lot of people that get off on control element. I mean, look at what happened with, I just mentioned Real Housewives, Phaedra. She was married to a former prisoner who she got out and she polished him up, but he went back to his old behavior. Even with her, and like, you married an attorney, you're on TV, you're getting paid money just to show up at places. And you still, even in all that, now you're not having to now commit crimes for survival, because that's a very real reason why people commit crimes. But even with everything you now have, you still got locked up on federal charges for doing something that you knew was some BS. So that's like, and that speaks to, there's just something innate in him. Like, some people like that.
They don't understand
movement of that kind of, that whole seedy, like I tell people, there are some people that stay actively involved in either dysfunctional relationships or abusive relationships because the drama makes them feel alive. Like, they like the idea of, he gonna knock me upside my goddamn head, but then we gonna fuck it. It's gonna be amazing. Like, how toxic is that?
Oh man, I just want some pudding and like some Netflix. I don't need all that. I'm serious. I might actually get a dog. I was thinking about it because when I go on my walks, there was this dog that would follow me, and now it doesn't follow me anymore. And I was like, I want a dog. I think I do.
The only thing I tell people about pets is, because for especially in gay relationships, dogs can kind of become like babies in that sense that oh God, our relationship is in trouble. Let's go have a baby. So that tells people, don't do it for those reasons. But because remember, like, dogs have, and I had done that. I've loved dogs. I've had them all my life. But like, back like before the pandemic started, we had one for a little while. But for me, I have allergies and other stuff, and it just didn't work
Yeah.
out that particular. But he was a lot of work. And I go
Yeah,
through,
that's a good
I
point.
tell people, like, some days I come home, I don't want to be responsible for nobody or anything. I told somebody once, if it's got a personality, I don't care what it is. It could be a fish. I don't want it around me. Like, I was at that point because I understood that I was probably going to end up being unfair to this animal.
Yeah.
Just like, and I tell people, it's like you have to think, like, before you buy pets, like also before you
Right.
have children. Sometimes you really have to think about, like, do I live a lifestyle that's conducive to that? And also understanding that, that it needs shots and food, and like this is
Yeah.
a whole entity now that you're responsible for. So I think pets are amazing. They actually are quite good for stress and mental health. Like, so
Yeah.
that's why emotional support animals are very real. But just
Yeah.
make sure that you understand what you're getting into. But absolutely, I think animals,
Yeah.
pets are amazing. Like I think I'm getting to a space now myself where it's like, I kind of want a dog,
Yeah,
like,
there's like, I think, don't they have like the adoption program? Like you can just, keep a dog for a while.
Well, and
And
they have, and I will tell people this also a good thing is that if you just kind of want a dog and something temporary, there are agencies that are
yeah.
always looking for people to foster dogs.
Yeah.
Like children, you have dogs that, I had a coworker when I worked at Emory, and she was really into that. Like, she would foster animals that per se maybe have been abused but weren't dangerous. Like, just kind of giving
Yeah.
the dog a routine and giving them some stability helps them to heal, like us,
Yeah.
and in that, some people have been able to find, like, even with prisoners, like we was talking about them earlier,
Mhm.
that parolees and pit bulls program. Like, they have a show on AMC or AM, what else channel, but same
Yeah.
concept. These prisoners actually did change their lives and behaviors because they took on the responsibility of these dogs who, pit bulls were looked at as these really throwaway kind of dogs. They were,
Yeah.
dangerous or whatever. So they could relate to that. So they formed
Right.
these really healthy bonds with these animals and trained them and got them to places where they could then go to families. So, just
Yeah.
understanding those kind of basic things. But yeah, pets are great. I tell people,
Yeah. Yeah.
I finally got a fish tank when I moved last year, and I was like,
That's
wasn't ready
cool.
for a dog, but I've always had, because fish tanks are, yet again, they're relaxing. They, the
Yeah, they are.
water, they are
I like
very,
the sound. Yeah.
the water, and like I tell people, get you a fish tank, like start off small,
Yeah.
but I think that if it's a dog, like you said, and like you talked about,
Hmm.
especially, we like to change up our accessories. So if it's a dog with an accessory, then look at fostering, because these are really good
Yeah,
animals.
that's true. It's the
Really
foster dog.
you could really be helping, keep some animals off the street or out of shelters, or just, like, we all need a safe space sometimes, and dogs
Yeah.
included. So giving a dog that safe space, and if you get attached, you can keep it. I mean, that becomes the other thing.
Yeah.
Say, you know what, I've enjoyed this, but maybe, I want to take a break. Then you have that ability to do that also.
Yeah. Well, think about it for sure. But yeah, I think other than that, yeah, I did the podcast on that book I sent you, the Sweet Spot. And it was definitely interesting because, like, they were talking about, well, pain as a way of giving us meaning, in a sense. Like we don't value things that aren't difficult to do, like on a certain level. If something comes easy to you, you don't value it as much.
I've shared
Yeah.
that on the show. I
Yeah.
actually was having a conversation with somebody recently about, and I just, last year, December 20th, was 26 years that I've now lived with HIV, and I've now lived I lived more of my life as an HIV positive man than I did as a negative man, and just the impact that they had on me. But I
Yeah.
also tell people, I realized that HIV gave me purpose. It made it,
Yeah.
it allowed me, like, I literally have a whole career now because of that tragic moment that happened to
Yeah.
me 6 years ago. And I didn't think that was, but it gave me a purpose. That pain and everything,
Yeah.
like, I felt helpless, and the way I felt empowered was to be able to take some ownership of that and turn it into something else. So
Yeah.
our pain, absolutely, and that's one of the things too. Like, when we talk about one of the issues with what's going on in our society globally right now, and like we talked about, this is a downside, I feel like, of sometimes the internet and technology. We've now also in those processes, usually with our pain, we can connect to other people's pain. But if all the thing I see in your pain, the only form of like me seeing another person struggle is in an internet post. All I'm gonna do is click and like it. I might like a little bit. I might write a comment if you're lucky, and I'm gonna move on. Versus there were times when we dealt with tragedy, we were forced to deal with them together, and that did form some bonds. And also, it lets you know sometimes, like with COVID, I do feel like if we weren't sometimes as technologically advanced as we are, we probably wouldn't be having this problem because people would seeing all the death and stuff. They wouldn't be able to like. I thought it was very interesting what TJ said about the couple. He thought that was fake news. That was exactly what they wanted to occur. Like, and that was a very small example, but I thought that was very powerful. But we have now gotten to a point where we don't connect with real people. We see it in virtually, and when we don't physically have it, like it's hard to empathize virtually.
Yeah, that's true.
Because empathy is part of also what brings people purpose sometimes, or at least, you know what, this is bigger than me. Like COVID, I'll go and get vaccinated because I understand that I'm not necessarily maybe doing it for myself, but for the next man, or because I lost my mother and I don't want somebody else to lose their mother. But now we see cute news stories that people do or don't believe, or we see just one post, oh, so and so died, oh, how sad. But we just read it wrong. We keep on clicking, and then you go from oh how sad to oh ain't that shit funny, like all in under
so fast.
Right.
This is true. Yeah, I think TikTok may have ruined my brain in some ways, but because I can't watch like long form dramas anymore. I'm like, this is so slow. So slow. I did finish Dexter. I fucking hated the ending, but I guess that's Dexter.
I need to watch that because you were the second person that said that was really good. I forget.
It was good. I fucking hated the ending, but it was a good show. I'm gonna check out Euphoria next. That was something I think Costner was talking about. But
yeah, he brought that up. Every time I open up HBO Max, it's on that I call it the billboard. It's
another one
right now.
Another one which I can't get into was Raised by Wolves. It's like a sci-fi drama on HBO Max, and I think season 2 is coming out in February.
You know what? I think I added that to my watch list, but never watched it. I think it's because you referenced it too.
Yeah,
so I do want to go and watch that.
I need to finish it. I think it was 10 episodes. I stopped around 6 or 7. But
now, why did you stop? I'm just curious. Did it get to be too much, or was it a trying thing?
Yeah, it was. I don't know. I lost a little bit of interest in it. The story changed so much, but yeah. I gotta pee really bad.
Well, actually, no, I'm actually gonna jump off because I need to actually go eat. And like I said, I do have a team now, so I need to make sure everything is all right. But I am gonna try to on tomorrow since they're gonna talk about that situation. So
okay,
but this, I'm around. Go, but you go pee.
Okay. That's one way to end it. This is a very forced.
What a way to end the show.
That was I always think about that. Was it Forrest Gump? I mean, I think he meets the president or something. He goes, I gotta pee.
I mean, when you gotta go, you gotta go.
And then, like, I don't know if it was in the movie because I confused the movie and the book, but he ran for president on the on his tagline was "I gotta pee." Oh god, yeah.
Oh god.
Forrest Gump, the book was so good. I don't know. I mean, the movie was great too, but the book was fucking hilarious because it was much more farcical.
Mm-hmm.
Like he runs for president in the book and wins. By the way, President Gump. Yes.
Wow.
So, just saying. Goes to space. You know,
I mean, it's based on what we got coming. I would have voted for president.
President Gump. Oh god.
Names are too familiar.
Anyhow, but no, it's funny that I still in that same zone where I'm thinking about getting a pet and I still haven't gotten one. At the time I was thinking about a dog because it's true. There was this black lab that would follow me whenever I go on my walks. And it was, it was kind of like this is great. I have all the companionship of a dog every day without actually having to take care of it.
Right, without the commitment, right?
Right.
Having to feed it, water it, take it out.
It was like he was so happy to see me every day. Like, oh my god, just like,
If I could have that, I would do it. I would do that
yeah,
because I love dogs.
yeah.
But it's just like I see people out walking their dogs, and then I'm reminded, like, yeah, I got to take it out like several times a day, and that's a lot. And then I
Yeah.
got to board it if I'm out of town for a while. It's like, you know what? I don't really want a dog.
I know. I supplement them with videos. That's what I do.
There you go. There you go. Speaking of which, I love what you posted in the Telegram group.
Oh yeah.
If Superman had a cat instead of a dog, I'm like, that is so T'Challa. T'Challa would just leave me to die. He's just like, nope.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna see if I can post it real quick because what was funny is, of course, the Superman trailer came out. Everybody's raving over it, and I think what's interesting is it was because of the dog. It really was.
I'm not that like everybody says that. I'm like, I literally told my friend Elliot, I was like, meh. It's like I'm just, maybe when another trailer comes out, maybe it might be. I mean, I'm still gonna see it regardless, but it's just kind of like I'm not seeing that much hype that I'm like, oh my god, I gotta go see it.
Right. No, I'm not either.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, like, the idea is that it's giving you Man of Steel, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you include a dog. Here's the meme.
Yes.
It starts off with Superman calling out.
Because I call T'Challa all the time. It's like I call that cat, and he just is like, nope, I'm not coming.
I think the reason why the dog saves the trailer is because Man of Steel was this sort of dark vision of Superman, way too serious, very like it's heavy lays the burden of a god man, who's trying to be human, but he's separate from humanity and is almost like the symbol for hope. And what is it like to have the whole world on your shoulders? Kind of like, God, that's depressing. But then he's got a dog. And I think it changes the whole like feel of a movie because it's like, how serious can you take this shit? It's a fucking dog.
Right.
It's a super puppy. I mean,
it literally
so that gives you this sort of like, oh, this is kind of whimsical, cartoony, and it is also James Gunn, which reminds you like he actually makes good movies.
And the dog is wearing a cape too. It's like,
it's ridiculous.
The dog doesn't really need a cape, but we're gonna give the dog a cape anyway. It's like
Superman doesn't need a cape, right? Like it's ridiculous,
right?
And that's the fun part. And I think when you think of a James Gunn movie, because I only know the Guardians movies, I actually don't know what else he's made, but I think a lot of people said in his previous movies as well, he ranges from the farcical to the serious and emotional in a single movie often, where they're doing fart jokes alongside like you're crying your eyes out, and so I think the trailer gives you that range. Anyway, we're going to go to Patreon. I got a couple topics we can discuss, but as always, we like to give thanks to our patrons who support the channel. If you like Male Media Mind and would like to support us on a continuing basis, you can go to patreon.com/mailmediamind. We have patron shows, we have some groups, and we're going to go to Patreon now. I think I'm just going to slip on into Patreon.
Yeah.
And I have a few topics I have left over. Some more leftover topics. So we can discuss a little bit. And join us on Patreon if you are a patron. And
become a premium for.
Get that it's funny that I do call the Telegram channel what the VIP room, where there's lots of horse things that happen in VIP rooms. Or I one time I did go to a concert and they had like a VIP room to watch the show from. That was really nice, actually. I was like, oh, this is actually kind of worth the money. Because they had like food and a table and set up, and it was
Yes.
actually comfortable. You weren't like squished up with everybody. I was like, "Oh, okay.
Right. Like when I
Alright."
went to go see Janet Jackson when she had a residency in Vegas, I bought VIP tickets,
Mhm.
and it was like we had it was like the seats were not like on top of each other. It's like it was spaced out, so you didn't feel like you were cramped up in there. We had our own personal server who like brought us drinks and snacks and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, this is what it's like to be a VIP. Okay, I see why people do this now. Like,
Exactly. It is kinda
yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Sometimes you just
So
need
let
to
me
treat yourself to being a VIP.
Yeah. So I am gonna play one of these topics. This topic had to do with like different cultures. I actually, while I was watching um while the replay was playing, I was watching this woman's content, and one of the reasons I find her content interesting is that she comes from a different culture. I think she's Nigerian and
Right.
lives in America, and she went to some like Sadidi schools, and and I think this sort of tension between her birth culture and the culture she finds herself in now gives her some really fascinating insights into perspectives in general. And so I just happened to see one of her previous videos, her latest video I'm gonna probably do. This is one of her older videos. I never did get to it, but it's just kind of interesting. Her talking about cultures of pride and dignity, I guess is what she was talking about. Here we go.
As someone who comes from a culture where a lot of people are really, really proud, as I get older, I strive less to be a proud person and more to be dignified. Because both ask of you to have self respect and also kind of demand respect from others. But a proud person requires respect based off the things that they accomplish, how people perceive them. But a dignified person is about how they perceive themselves. Are they happy with who they are? Are they happy with the people around them? That self-respect comes from a completely different place. And I think it does two things. It changes how you demand respect, because you don't have to demand respect if you are a dignified person. Only, in my opinion, proud people demand respect. And two, it changes who we consider to be worthy of respect. Like I said, I come from a culture where people are very proud. Nigerians are very proud. And I think from that pride, we end up having the wrong people demand respect, and we respect essentially the wrong things. And this is not meant to be Nigerian slander. I think a lot of people all over the world are like this, but I'm talking specifically about Nigeria because it's my culture, and it's something that I've been mulling over a lot recently about just respect. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having a culture where respect is important and you're taught to kind of hold your head up high. But I feel like we value a lot of the wrong things because we're just asking for respect's sake. We're not checking to see if we're worthy of this respect that we're asking. And I think a dignified person does that. A dignified person, understands that you get respect when you do the right thing, when you're a good person, when you live in line with your values, and it shifts that accountability inwards. And I think that we have so much potential to be dignified people, but we're so focused on being proud to kind of our detriment.
Yeah. So one of the things this brought up was I was going to play this after our conversation about homophobia. And I think that is like the origins of homophobia. Like, patriarchy and homophobia are besties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
Because
sure, yeah.
because I think the core of homophobia is, of course, a straight man being afraid of being perceived as gay, right? And so that's why he can't. That's why he has to respond violently to someone who
Right.
approaches them. Like they have to show, like, oh, like instead of being like, "Ooh, really? You think I'm cute?" Which is where it should be the thing. It's like, "Oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you." Like,
Right.
but I
Exactly.
I like pussy. I'm sorry, but that should be the response. But because of this
Should.
threat to their manhood, and this idea of needing to get respect from outside of themselves,
Right.
And the concept that, because of the patriarchy, women are less than men. You are by very nature, calling me or insinuating or even hinting at the idea that I might be gay. You have, insulted me. And now
Yes.
that I have to, fight for that pride that is important.
Right.
And I think this is actually something that's true of all men. We just have different values for which we associate pride, but I think this is something men typically want is validation and respect. I think that's the big one, is respect from other people. Like
Right.
signs of disrespect, even from gay men, will get you a response. In our case, we'll just read you for filth, but like disrespect.
Right.
Girl.
Right. And even in our circle, even within, the LGBTQ world, like,
Yeah.
the mask for mask guys, will take high offense to, a more feminine person, finding them
That's true.
attractive or trying to hit on a feminine person. And sometimes they kind of feel like they have to do the same. It's like, how dare you,
Yeah.
a feminine person, want to hit on me? How dare you? Let me beat you into a pulp. Let me show my dominance and show this is what masculine looks like. And I got to beat you to a pulp. I got to be violent with you so that, like you said, so that everybody else around is like, oh, okay, he about that life. He about being masculine. He's not playing around. And yeah, it's sort of kind of the same thing almost. So
Yeah, I feel like it's an actual sign of weakness that you feel
yeah,
that you got to put out
exactly.
there. But I think that's what she was kind of getting at, that there are certain cultures where I think people were denied respect for so long, and I think there's understanding that you have to show people respect, and uh, yeah, it's different. I don't know, like I just remember seeing people who live abroad, and certain things that you just don't understand because the culture is so different. One of the things I really should travel more, and I wish I had the funds to do so. Like I may should make that a goal of mine to get a travel fund. But
There you go.
I would like to go to Japan, or maybe Korea. But I remember watching a video of a woman who, and she was talking about this because I clicked through the video and she was talking about it. This woman who, as a black woman, felt like she was being disrespected in Japan because of her race, for the
Right.
longest time. But what she didn't realize was that no, you were just being disrespected for being an American who didn't understand Japanese culture, right?
Okay.
And when she, and they could be racist too. I'm not saying that they can't be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But when she understood like certain greetings that she had to have, when she met people, everything changed, right? You go in, you do your konnichiwa, whatever. It sounds horrible. He's like, hey, my guys, and then everyone started treating you nice. It was something like if you didn't do that, people just ignored you, right? And they weren't trying to be mean, but there's something about the culture in Japan where people don't just walk up and say hi.
Right.
It's the practice to leave people alone unless they want to be interacted with, right? And so, like, as soon as she put out there that I want you to interact with me, people started interacting with her, and it's just interesting that I think those moments where you're disconnected from the culture and you don't understand what's really going on in other people's heads, and makes me realize that even in our own cultures, to a lesser degree, there are times when there's something out in the culture that we don't understand. And that's, you can only learn it when someone tells you about it.
Yeah.
And I think that she's kind of getting at this culture of pride amongst men. And I have to admit that I don't fully understand it. The situations where men congregate and what it is that is the male culture in the United States or whatever. Like I'm so disconnected from that. Or I should say straight male culture. Like, yeah, I don't watch sports. I mean, I might watch some booties. I watch the football players, not the game.
That's me. It's like, I don't really care what the score is. It's just like, who's wearing the tightest pants that I can see through?
Yeah, exactly.
You
I watch
gotta
football players,
have
not
what
football games.
you're interested in. That's why I don't like basketball as much. It's just like I remember like the short
Mm,
shorts they used to wear in basketball. Now they wear like the really long baggy. I'm like, ugh,
yeah,
basketball.
yeah. Football players are hot, regardless. Yeah, it's
Yes, they are. It's like go sports
whatever.
ball.
I know that I was just listening to a news story about the game on New Year's, I guess, with Beyonce's concert, the halftime show.
Yes, exactly.
I
Because
might.
that's what some of the games are. They're like, "Oh, did you hear about this concert that Beyonce's giving?" It's like, you mean the game, the concert?
I mean,
It's like, hey,
if I'm waiting for
whatever draws
Beyonce, I
you
might
in,
watch some asses. Yeah. But no, I just like that idea of trying to get outside of my own head and get into the culture. And you know, I guess I'm also kind of disconnected from gay culture in general because I live in a small town. I don't really get out into a lot of places. I think my first introduction to gay culture was less than 10 years ago, and that was after I started M3 and I went to a few events here and there. I mean, since then I haven't really I still, you know, I feel a little disconnected from it, and I feel I don't know, sometimes weirded out by some. To be
because
honest, like
some of it is weird. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It's
yeah,
like, I hear some of the things that they do, like
mm,
the gay cruises that they do. Like, I mean, that sounds like a really cute idea and all that kind of stuff. But then, like, when you see the videos and they're literally just having sex right there on the deck and stuff like that, I'm like,
yeah,
okay, so y'all just want to just fuck just somewhere else. Like, I mean, it's just an excuse to just fuck somebody else. I'm like, okay, and I used to talk about my time in the bear community, and like,
yeah,
people would always say like, oh, well, you're just mad because you got turned down by somebody. It's like, no, I didn't go for that reason. I went because I enjoyed being around people that I thought were cool and would accept me. It's like it had nothing to do with like wanting to get with any of them. Now, yes, I like to look. I
yeah,
ain't dead, but that wasn't it for me. But it does seem like nowadays it's like that's all it is now. It's just one big circuit party, and who can do who and how many times you can do somebody. I'm just like, okay,
yeah.
that's so.
And it's unfortunate that I don't know if there's a way around that. I know that um I think we still have plans to possibly try to connect up with this gay cabin trip in
Yeah.
the spring. And
Mhm.
I've heard good things about those trips. Like they I mean, I think every gay event is going to be sexually charged because we're
Yeah.
men
I
and we're
mean,
gay,
yeah,
right?
right.
But like, how acceptable, how out front is it? How respectful are people to those? And I think there's also the fact that I have to be comfortable in myself to, have good boundaries and be like, no, I'm not into that. I don't want to do that, and I don't have to villainize someone else who
Right.
crosses my
Yeah.
boundaries. I just be like, no, no, thank you. No,
Yeah. It's like, if y'all want to do that, that's cool. No judgment. Just not my
yeah,
thing.
yeah. So, but yeah, that was about it. I think it was interesting. What was it? Thinking about trying to move into 2025. If I was going to make a resolution or a plan, I'm not even call it a resolution, a plan, because I kind of like the year in review. And we were going to do that today, but honestly, it would have taken so much work to pull those clips together that I just don't want to do that. But I was thinking in 2025, it might be a good idea to go ahead and start cataloging some of those top
I was
moments.
just getting ready to say, I think that would be a good idea for us to go do going forward. That way, at the end of the year, it'll be much easier for us to just pull all that stuff together
Yeah.
rather
And not
than
only
trying to look
that,
back and figure that stuff out. So yeah, I
And
agree.
not only that, like pulling things for, indexing it. I guess that's the best way of calling it. Indexing our shows so that we can better recall rewinds like these.
Mhm.
So I think probably the best idea would be to create a document with each show breaking down each
Kind of each
each segment.
segment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it could easily be, run through and then like, indexed. But
It's a good idea.
yeah, so I mean, other than that, what else was I thinking? I was getting a few extra TikTok videos in case TikTok disappears next year.
That
They have
seems to
their
be what everybody's preparing for. So yeah.
Yeah, it would seem like this would be a moment that YouTube could actually make a a bid for
People
the
have I've heard people say that. I've heard a lot of people say like YouTube could come in and kind of save the day.
yeah,
So we'll
yeah.
see.
Um, the thing people are saying is that I don't know, with it being a Trump administration, they, I forget who it was, the Federal Trade Commission or Communications Commission was hesitant to allow a company as large as Google to purchase
Right.
TikTok. I mean, they're already in the process of trying to separate Chrome from the rest of Google because it's just such a
Mhm.
giant portion of it. And maybe
Just keep Elon's name out of it, please, for the love of God. Keep his name out of it.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't need him to ruin another social media platform right now. Like, I've already said at the end, I am counting down the days till I delete my Twitter account. And I said
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it there. And come January 1st, 2025, I am deleting my existence from Twitter. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I like I said, I might when my premium subscription dies off, and I'll see. Yeah, what arises from TikTok because no matter what happens, I think a lot of people are going to be jumping ship to something, which
yeah,
means the shakeup could be interesting.
very.
Yeah,
We'll see.
Uh,
We'll see who wins the the what do they call it? Short what do they call it? Short form content.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who wins
I
the
would
short
think it would be Meta because I mean they have Instagram, Threads, Facebook. I don't even know what happened to Snapchat. That still exist?
it's still a thing, but I never did Snapchat
Yeah,
because
neither did I. Yeah.
what's the point?
Apparently that was where stories came from. Like they blew up on everything, but
Mhm.
Snapchat was maybe the first app to do stories.
Okay.
All I know is I always thought it was the thing for
Right.
sus messaging because they disappeared after you open them. But
Mhm.
so I still have one though. Anyway, I think we'll end it there.
All right.
Go. Do we have anything coming up this week? I don't know if Devon is doing tomorrow.
I reached out to Devon to ask him what he wanted to do, and he said he is fine with doing a rerun tomorrow if we want to do that. So
Okay.
it sounds like other than Cream, everybody basically wants to take the week off. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say maybe if you want, if we kind of go back and just kind of find like what you did for Greg, like just maybe find like maybe our highest rated show or something for the
Mhm.
year, and we could just run that. I have no problem with that because I could use a week off myself, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't sign up for Cream Show this week, so I don't know if
Okay.
it's just Cream by himself because he said he was gonna do his live. So I'm like, okay. I said the
Yeah.
rest of us saying we was gonna take the week off. So if you want to do that, that's on you. I didn't sign up for that week.
Well, I'll support him regardless, whatever he needs, and we'll just talk about it. But yeah, I'm definitely needing a week off because doing 3 shows, and then the rerun.
Right.
Like, yeah, I could just use a break.
It's a lot. So yeah, I think we're good with just doing reruns and letting Cream do a live show if he wants to do that. So
Yeah.
I plan on doing the same. It's like, yes, we have more time. It'll be
All right.
glorious.
All right, we'll catch you next for patrons. We'll catch you later.
Yep.